George Corson has been assisting employers with workers' compensation issues for over 20 years. As a small business owner, he understands how easy it is to make a mistake, and he's one of the few defense attorneys who predominantly defends employers without workers' compensation insurance. Let's meet George Corson. Hello, George.
Hello, Tim.
And thanks for coming in. Please sit down. And that really is refreshing. You're a lawyer representing small business guys like me.
I am.
What would you tell an employer in the audience who's facing an uninsured workers' compensation claim?
Well, I tell them that being uninsured is actually a very serious situation, and they need to try to take the situation seriously to avoid bad things happening to their company. Everyone makes a mistake, but the key is to try to get ahead of it. I'd initially tell them to go to the Workers' Compensation Appeals Board near their house and talk to the Information and Assistance Officer. Information and Assistance Officers are non-attorneys that are employees of the state, and their prime job is to help people who don't have attorneys to try to get through the system. They can ask the Information and Assistance Officer for a list of attorneys who are qualified to help them and probably start from there.
Do most defense attorneys in the workers' compensation field handle uninsured cases?
Well, of the defense attorneys, talking to my peers, I'm thinking about 5% of the defense attorneys would accept a workers' compensation claim where the employer is uninsured. And of those 5%, maybe 1%, 1% of all the defense attorneys would have more than a few uninsured claims at a time. So concentration in there is actually pretty rare.
So it's a pretty specialized field. So I guess those that do need the services, a small business in that particular field, there aren't going to be that many lawyers who really know what they're doing. So you're one of them, obviously.
That's true.
Are there potential penalties for being uninsured for workers' compensation?
Yeah, Tim, sadly there are. If an injury is found while the employer is uninsured, there's a statutory penalty of $10,000 per employee. So if a company had 5 or 10 employees, the potential penalty could be large.
So it's serious business. What makes you different from the other workers' compensation defense attorneys?
Well, many of the workers' compensation attorneys don't take uninsured claims. I do. Many of the attorneys who do take uninsured claims don't do many. I tend to specialize in that. On average, I'd say half of my caseload involves uninsured employers. Part of it would involve employers with uninsured liability for discrimination or a few other things. And then there's some for insurance carrier litigation. And I'm one of the few attorneys that will give the client a choice on whether they prefer to have an hourly arrangement or a fixed fee arrangement. Because honestly, if I was hiring an attorney, I'd like to have a fee option that I could choose.
Oh, absolutely. So you offer that fixed fee. That is really, I'm hearing a few lawyers doing that now, but I consider that to be a huge advantage as a business person, especially, even if it were for my household. But you're mostly representing businesses in this regard. To have a fixed cost it's really important for a business. So I commend you for doing that.
Thank you.
Now, how did you find yourself representing uninsured employers for workers' compensation?
Well, I used to be a partner in a smaller firm, 10 or 12 attorneys, and we did periodically have uninsured employers coming in for help. And I was the only one in the firm that would provide that service, but it wasn't a preferred service within the firm. There tends to be an impression that if someone shows up without insurance, that they're a bad credit risk. And although that's true sometimes, more often than not, people got into a bad situation and need help. So I thought I could fill a niche by providing employers with litigation services that they actually required in a difficult field.
Well, and you're absolutely right. So George Corson, we're glad we have you doing that. Your contact information is up on the screen, so really encourage anyone, an employer like me who finds himself without workers' compensation insurance and is in trouble for it, to get with you. Thank you very much, George.